Premium quality football shirts at an extremely affordable price. Sound good? If so, check out the sponsor of today's video, jerseyfifa.com. You can see that I've sent you some shirts and they really are top quality, so make sure to click the link in the description to go find a shirt for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else. And you can now use code jerseyfifa at checkout for 10% off your order. That's code jerseyfifa at checkout for 10% off your order. I really do recommend their product, so go take a look. Now let's get into the analysis. So I'm sure you guys would have seen on the channel recently that I done a video giving my thoughts on Erik Ten Hag's appointment at Manchester United. So if you haven't already seen it, then make sure to go check it out and hear what I think on the whole situation. But one of my main thoughts was that anything that Erik Ten Hag does will take time. And I spoke several times about how long I think the process will take for Manchester United to get even just a little bit closer to the level they want to be. But regardless, there are still changes that will happen within the first 12 months. And that's exactly what I'm going to be going over today. And I'm going to talk about some of the early changes and improvements that United will see. I'll also try and figure out roughly how far away Manchester United will be from the likes of Klopp's Liverpool and Pep Guardiola's Manchester City come the end of the year. But first, let's talk about some of the signings that need to happen. One thing that Manchester United desperately need in the summer is a new centre-back. I'm not going to say who, you can decide that for yourself, but I'm certainly of the belief that United need a ball-playing defender. On top of this, Manchester United are also absolutely desperate for a new holding midfielder, and for me this has to be the main priority, because it's an issue that hasn't been addressed at the club for far too long now and it needs to change. After this, I also think that Manchester United need at least one new young striker at the club, whilst there's also arguably a need for a new right winger, but personally I'm more confident that Ten Hag will look to bring a striker in. I think that will be the priority. With all of that in mind, one of the first things that we'll see at the end of this season and before the start of next year is plenty of new players coming into the club, as well as a fair few heading out of the club as well, and it is going to be an absolutely massive transfer window. Before making these signings, I'm also quite confident that Ten Hag will be looking to assess quite a lot of the young players currently in the Manchester United academy, to see if any of them are ready to come into the first team squad next season. Instantly, this will be a change from what we've seen this year, because Ralf Rangnick in particular hasn't really given the young players much of an opportunity, so hopefully that is something that Ten Hag will address quite early on in his tenure. The main player that springs to mind is probably James Garner, and rightly so to be honest. He's the one real player that looks like he is ready to take that next step in his career, and I'm sure that he'll be given a chance in pre-season to show what he's got. If Garner is able to put in some performances reflective of his true ability, then I'm quite confident that Garner will have some sort of role within the squad next season, even if he only plays in the cup competitions early on in the year. Another player who we might see more of next season is Hannibal Mejbri. We've of course seen him against Liverpool this season, and I just wonder if there might be quite a nice position for him in Ten Hag's system, but we'll discuss that another day. Whether it's Garner, Mejbri or maybe even another young player from the academy, I do think that this would be an easy way for the Manchester United fans to quickly reconnect with the squad, something which has really vanished this season. Hopefully this alone will be enough to re-establish some more of that feel-good factor at Manchester United, and as simple as it sounds, this is one of the most important things for Ten Hag to do. That connection has to be re-established. As I said, the connection with the fans really seems to have gone with the fans losing interest in the team, particularly over the past couple of months when there's almost been nothing to play for Manchester United for a large part of the season. On top of this, there's also been poor performances. Now, I think to an extent the fans are tolerant of poor performances, however what they won't accept is bad attitude, and I'm not sure what it is specifically, but there is a massive problem in this dressing room. Fortunately for Manchester United, Erik Ten Hag is a manager that will not take any rubbish from the players. He won't let players get away with poor attitude or a lack of work rate, and trust me, these players will be put through their paces. The hope will be that the squad reacts positively to these changes, because if the squad can start pulling in the same direction together, then this will instantly give Erik Ten Hag a massive boost in his hopes to improve the team immediately. I'm very aware it sounds very basic to say Ten Hag needs to get the squad working hard and pulling in the same direction. It sounds like Sunday League level problems, but it really is the most important thing at the club right now. Now time for a more tactical look, and again it will take time for Ten Hag to put his plans in place. But one thing that we'll certainly see is the Manchester United players looking to take the ball under pressure, as they look to try and play their way out through the press. This is where I do think we will see some early issues and teething problems, because some of these Manchester United players are not equipped to playing the ball out from the back, so expect to see some errors early on in the season and the ball will be given away. If Manchester United are able to get through the press, then they will then look to dominate with the ball, with an almost tiki-taka-esque sort of style, allowing the team to really take control of possession, and they will look to dictate the tempo a lot of the time. This will be Ten Hag's most important tactical principle. He will want his side to have the most of the ball and to dominate possession for most of the game, and I do think that the key word here is control. That is really the vital point. Whilst United will have a lot of the ball, I do think that there will be spells where the play becomes quite slow, and at times the football may be just a little bit dull, as United take time to adapt to this new style of football, and they may lack a bit of creativity early on. Again, this is where patience from the fans is going to be key, because I do genuinely think that there will be some spells of some rather boring football, simply because they won't have the attacking patterns and plans in place to really attack. However, as the season progresses, I do think that the attacking setup will become more and more flexible and the attack will have more fluidity, and this is when the side will start creating more and the football should be more entertaining. I do think that one way that Manchester United will probably look to do this will be through crosses, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more crosses being swung into the box than what we see currently, operating more like someone like Chelsea or Liverpool rather than City. To be fair, this is another reason why the striker in a team will be so important, because Manchester United need to identify the right sort of striker who is able to really take advantage of these crosses that are going to be put into the centre. And it's also why I think the future of Cristiano Ronaldo is so important as well, but I'm not going to focus on that because I've already discussed it in a different video, which you can go check out on the channel at the end of this one. So, in possession we've discussed what might happen. United will dominate possession, but it might take time to see the exciting attacking football that we're all intrigued by. But what about some of the things that might happen out of possession? Again, this is an area where the recruitment is going to be important, because I expect Manchester United to commit a lot of players forward, and this could leave the centre-backs quite exposed, so United are going to need quality in these defensive areas. Despite the potential for an exposed defence, I do still think that Manchester United will concede a lot less than what they have done this season, simply because Ten Hag's side will have more control on their game as they dominate possession. But despite this, I would still expect to see Manchester United conceding chances on the counter-attack, and it will take time for Manchester United to find the right balance, so early on in the season, expect some scary moments in transitions. To try and address this, we will see United looking to press quite high up the pitch in order to prevent these counter-attacking situations, and I'm certainly expecting to see United playing with a much higher intensity out of possession. However, yet again there will be some early problems, and at times players will get caught out in the wrong position in the press, again leading to the team conceding some chances when the team will be played through just a little bit too easily. Again, this is yet another thing that is going to take time, because ultimately the balance is really key, as well as the pressing structure that Ten Hag will look to use. So, as with everything else, there will be early errors and it will take time. But certainly as the season progresses, I do think we'll see Manchester United playing much better football. I think the pressing systems will be better, and I also think the team will concede less and less as the season moves forward. So, with these changes taking time, what can Manchester United fans really expect the team to achieve this season? Especially with the fact that I've predicted quite a slow start, what can they really achieve this year? I think the obvious thing to say is that Manchester United should be looking to target some form of cup competition, and the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup looks like a great way for United to finally get their hands on a trophy after so long. If they manage to do it, it will actually be the first trophy since 2017, and for a club like Manchester United, half a decade is far too long, so it would be massive for this squad if they're able to get their hands on a trophy. In the league, United will find themselves much further away from silverware, and I think their true battle is going to be with the likes of Arsenal and Spurs, and this will be a challenging battle because they're further ahead in their journey and their rebuilds. I wouldn't be at all surprised if United miss out on a spot in the top 4 yet again, although maybe if they're able to get themselves into a good spell of form, then they could make a push, but personally I don't think it's too likely right now. However, they could still have a route into the Champions League via the Europa League, and assuming they qualify this year, then the Europa League would certainly offer a potential route to a trophy and into Europe's elite competition for the following season. So I've given my thoughts, so now it's time to come to a bit of a conclusion. And even in the first season alone, I do think that Ten Hag will start taking this team in the right direction, and the football will be much better than what it has been over the last decade. However, it will take a bit of time, and that's where the Manchester United fans are going to be important. They have to be aware that these changes won't happen immediately, and any sort of positive journey will always take time in football. The first step is going to be the most important, Manchester United have to get their recruitment right this summer. There is no other option. If the signings are wrong, then there is no hope. But get the team right and Ten Hag could build something great. And as always, I want to hear your thoughts. I'm sure you're excited about it as Manchester United fans, so let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one.